and welcome back to HLS Crypto. My name is Dan. So, how to get rich in the next crypto bull run? Firstly, I know rich is a very subjective term and will be different for many people in the same way that life-changing gains is very different for most people. So, for me, it would be like being off grid, having a little piece of land that I can live on, nice, maybe a log cabin, some animals around, and grow my own food, things like that. For others, it might be a Lamborghini on the drive of their mansion. There's very, very different reasons. But then for other people, it might just be paying that mortgage off, not having to have that much of an outgoing coming out each month. And then for other people, it could be something as simple as having a holiday or a cruise with their family. It all depends on what your life changing or idea of rich is. But so I understand it's subjective, but for me, it's kind of like what I would suggest would be for most people subjective, be not having to work again, being out of the 9 to 5, and owning the things they want to own in order to live comfortably. Let's take a look at what I believe is the best strategy to get rich in the next bull run. So firstly, and I know this isn't exciting or glamorous, and I probably bang on about it a little bit too much, but it's the DCA method, right? The DCA method is important. I think it's one of these ones that you need to sort of understand. I think it's the safest way. You're sort of catching micro bottoms and tops along the way. So yeah, for me, it's a very good strategy. And next, it's about having the right amount of projects and coins. So I've spoken a lot about this by staying spread, but the same is also true for the other side of the spectrum. You can be overspread, and a lot of this will depend on the budget. But I've seen portfolios with 30 plus coins with a 5K budget. That's far too many, in my opinion. That you want to make sure that you've got a select amount of coins and you can funnel as much into those coins as long as you believe in the projects as possible. So select 5, 8, 10, maybe 12 altcoins that you fully believe in. And again, that's going to be budget dependent, and DCA into those projects to get those bags filled. Because if you've got $200 in 10 different coins, that's not really going to do much for you. But if you've got a 10K portfolio and you've got 2K in one coin, 2K in another, when them big bull run starts ramping up and you're getting 20, 30, 50 X's, you can layer out and you're still making profits, and you can see a big chunk of coins going each time. I just don't think that you can. Being underspread is equally as dangerous. Don't be all in on one coin. Don't be all in on two. Being overspread, I think, is also dangerous and can get you wrecked, and it's not really worth spreading yourself too thin. Risks versus rewards. So when constructing a portfolio, I like to have some safe plays as the foundation of the portfolio. Now we've talked about this before. You can have Quant, you can have HBAR, ADA, you can have other Solana, whatever you consider to be your safer plays, and have them as your cornerstone, your foundation, your building block. And if you want to go really, really safe, again, this is probably budget dependent too, but if you really want to go really, really safe, then Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to be your cornerstones, because they're going to be the safest options. The X return probably won't be anywhere near as high, but it'll be a safe X return, right? Now, to make the bigger gains, you'll be adding an element of risk to the portfolio. Like, meme coins, for instance, are like your lottery ticket plays. I'm not really too keen on those, but some of the low cap ones can be too. Things with lower market caps like Hello, GFEL, Myria, Trias, etc. There's many others, PZP perhaps. Whatever you consider to be what your low cap gems are. Like I really like, obviously, like Casper as well. That's not quite low cap now. I think it's probably getting a little bit higher than that. Well, it's definitely not micro cap. Maybe low cap's a good way to describe it, but Casper is obviously fantastic. And these projects can potentially give you very high X returns, which, if you've balanced that out with decent returns, solid returns, and then more riskier plays, you're still going to end up ultimately with a bigger bag at the end, and ultimately bigger profits, which is what we're all here for, life-changing gains, right? Consistency. Now, once you've built your portfolio and you've decided on your budget, either weekly or monthly, consistently DCA into those bags and get them filled. Don't worry too much when your portfolio is 20% up, 20% down. That's just going to happen over time. It's going to do that. It's going to fluctuate. It's a volatile asset class. It's a volatile space, and with some of the lower cap stuff, it doesn't take a large amount of money to move these things up and down either way. So it's important to not fear that too much, which brings me on to controlling emotions. Now, I know I sound like a broken record, but I think this is arguably the most important thing when you're on your crypto journey. Greed and fear, it's just a massive, massive thing. If you can control that, stay as neutral as you possibly can, because there's going to be times where the market is pumping Now that's great because you've already got your positions in, you've already DCA'd in. It's great when you see it happen, but then don't FOMO in and try and chuck everything at it then. The best days to buy are red days, you know, and I don't take profits along the way in a bear market. It's something I'm not doing. You can do that if you're up 10x or something, if you want to de-risk maybe, and then maybe buy back in on a dip. But I don't like doing that. I like to just be solid, safe, keep DCAing in, DCAing in, DCAing in over and over again. Because there's going to be times where it's fearful as well. Portfolio goes down 20%. You hear some bad news. And don't forget, a lot of the bad news can just be FUD. It doesn't have to be actual news, but it's enough to maybe shake people out of the market. Now, this will happen a lot. You'll see this happen. Just be very wary of what news you hear and how accurate it is. Because a lot of the time, these projects, not the actual people in the projects, but the actual market makers can shake you out in any way they want. They can make you overconfident. They can make you not sure of yourself. And those are emotions that are just going to wreck you if you just can't keep that medium baseline in your own mind and go, right, I know my target, I know what I'm doing, and this is how I'm going to do it. Try and ignore the FUD as much as you can. Try and ignore the over the top, every single coin's going to 1,000x, because the reality is that they're not. They're not. Know your average entry price and know your targets. Now, I've got a friend of mine called Paul, very, very big on knowing your average entry price, because it gives you then your best, you know exactly what your X return is. I think it's really important to know your average entry price. You can have a spreadsheet for that. You can write it down. I tend to write things down a lot. I'm not the best with things like Excel, but here we are. And know your targets. Massively key. As I've said before, what are your targets? What things do you look like in 2025? What have you thought that you want? But also more importantly is knowing the targets of your coin price. So you'll have a minimum target of where you want to begin taking profits, and then your maximum target, your best case scenario. And I like to take profits, in 20% increments. You can do it in 25% increments, just along those little key figures. Now, I've said this before as well, psychological round numbers. Human beings are attracted. So say, for instance, CSPR. If you want to take profits at $1, I'd be looking at 97 cents, 95 cents, because a lot of people might be waiting for the dollar, because human nature is, I'll hold it to the dollar. Now, if you wait that long, and for instance, it doesn't go to $1, but it hits 98 cents and then starts coming down, you've lost that opportunity to take high level gains. So be really wary of psychological round numbers. For instance, quant. I'm going to hold quant. I think it'll go over $1,000, but my minimum expectation is $1,000. I'm going to start taking profits to sort of 780, 840. These numbers, because psychologically it makes a massive difference. People will hold for round numbers. You'll see it all the time, and you can watch this happen in real time in the 2025 bull run. Have multiple exchanges. Now, this is really important. So you can have your Kraken, your MEXC, KuCoin. Have multiple exchanges. Wherever you are. I know different regions have different rules, but get as many exchanges as you can open. Get through all the processes. I know some of them have a KYC and things like that, but get through as many of the processes as you can, because when it comes to the bull market, the traffic, everything goes mental. Some exchanges will go down. And if they go down when you're about to want to try and sell your crypto, that's an issue, because then you're holding your bag and you can't do anything about it. So make sure you've got multiple exchanges and store your crypto. I use Ledger and Tangent, but there's Trezor, there's other ones, Decent, I think. Have an idea of where you're going to store your crypto, work out how to use them, do little test purchases, make sure you're not sending it to the wrong wallet address, because that'll be a nightmare if you lose a big chunk of your coins doing that. But storing your crypto is super important. And then when there's time to sell, just move it into the exchange, and exchange is working and fully functional during the bull run, and then just get that sold. And again, you can still do that in increments. Mindset is everything. So it's, I think it was Henry Ford that said it, that whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you're probably right. Now, mindset is key. The more positive you are, the more you set your targets, the more you get yourself an exit strategy, the more you get your mind around exactly what you want to do. So you're not just winging it and playing it by ear all the time. That's going to be really, really key. It enables you to control your emotions again, because you can even write it on a piece of paper, right? When H-bar hits this, when Casper hits this, I'm taking this amount of profit, just so you're not, thinking, oh, maybe I'll hold a day. You don't have to. Have it laid out. Have that as your mindset. Be really key, because the more negative you are, the more down in the dumps you are, the less prepared you are, you're doomed to fail. Try and keep positive. Don't worry about things too much, but just make sure that you've got yourself a little strategy, get yourself a blueprint, whatever it is you want to do. It doesn't have to be this blueprint. There might be other YouTubers you follow, anything. Just have an exit strategy. I want to see you all do really, really well in this bull run. I can't wait to be there along the journey with you. I want to change my life, and I know that you guys want to change yours. And I'm looking forward to us doing it together. It's a journey. We're here. We're a community now. You know, we're building. The subscribers are coming up massively as well. So if you like this video, please smash the like button. I always appreciate it when you guys do that. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, or if you've been here a while and haven't yet, click the button. We're closing in on 1,500 subscribers now, so that's brilliant. I really do appreciate each and every single one of you. Wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing, have a great day, have a great evening, and as always, we'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy. Goodbye.